Welcome to this course. I'm going to be your instructor for this subject. My name is Mayriliana Gomez Rey. This subject is manual demining technique. It's going to be divided in 5 modules. My experience is as leader in humanitarian demining. And here I'm going to present the agenda that we have for this subject. So first, we have the generalities. Second, the general requirements for the technical survey or clearance. Third, activities for planning of clearance operations. Four, the technical survey. Five, the manual demining technique execution. So first, we are going to talk about the generalities. So what is the significance that we have in this moment for this subject? This instruction describes what is the correct process for make the clearance of the hazardous areas and the confirmed hazardous areas. The identification and what is the subsequent process or the disposal of the explosive ordnance that put always in risk our lives or the lives of the people that live in that farmer or in the place that you found explosives. And what is the step by step for you can make this technique. So first we have here 3 terms. It's the glossary. So this glossary of the terms has some definitions that are approved in the operational procedure that was the base of this class that you can find in the General National Glossary of the terms of comprehensive shame action against the anti-personnel mines. So in the national standards for the compression action against anti-personnel mines that is development to be applied in Colombia, we have these 3 terms. There is shall, should, and may. And those terms are used to indicate the degree of the compliance that is required. So this use is consistent with the language that is used in the standards and the norms. So when we talk about the first term, shall, we refer or is used to indicate the requirements, the methods or the specifications that must be applied in order to comply with the standard. The second term should is used to indicate the requirements, the methods and specifications that make up the best practice. And final, the term may is used to indicate a possible method or course of action. We'll continue with some definitions that you have made clear this definition for all the subjects. First, we have the confirmed hazardous areas, the reduced process areas, reduced areas without process, and the maintenance. So what is the first definition of confirmed hazardous areas? It is a land surface that is defined by the performer and non-technical survey or a technical survey in which it's concluded that there is a direct evidence to confirm that exists the anti-personnel mine contamination. So when a confirmed hazardous area is defined, it will generate a non-technical survey report. The second, the reduced process area, is the result of the development of a technical study in a dangerous area or a confirmed dangerous area where is it conclude that there is no evidence of anti-personal mine or an explosive device through direct physical intervention. The third, the reduced area with a process is the result of the development of a technical study in a dangerous area or a confirmed dangerous area, where it is concluded that there is no evidence of anti-personnel mine or IDs, and no, they don't have an additional physical intervention is required. Well, continue with some objectives of this topic. We have the first, there is clear or reduce the confirmed hard-to-use area or portion trade-off. The second is that we have to confirm the presence of the anti-personal mine or the ID in the area of portion of an area that has been classified as dangerous or confirmed dangerous after conducting a non-technical study, and identify the type of the threat and the limits and the characteristics. That can be soil, the vegetation, the climate, the geography. The third objective that we have is give to the local population enough confidence to use the land without the need for clearance process. And final, it's eliminate the threat posed by anti-personnel mines or the ideas for the community in a confirmed dangerous area, the determinate depth. For talk about the minimum unit of deployment, we have to take account what is the structure for arrive to this final minimum unit of deployment. So the Brigade of Humanitarian Demining Engineers is the minor operational unit of the National Army, which is part of the national demining capacity, whose mission is development some tasks in the municipalities or the same areas of the national territory, applying the current national and international regulation to humanitarian demining in compliance with the Ottawa Convention. So the technical section or the equivalent is the unit that is in charge of the administration of the system, the peripheral system, for the management of the documentation um, of the humanitarian demining process and the management of the information management system on activities that are related with the anti-personnel mines. And we have an operations officer, that is a unit that is in charge of coordinating the operation of humanitarian demining in a battalion. So now we have the minimum deployment unit, that the minimum organization of the manual demining technique team for the fulfillment of the task. It's necessary that we following the characteristic of one team leader for the miners, the one person that is training in basic first aid care, and one auxiliary, but the last person is optional. So the team member who has the qualification and certification in AOD1 tasked by the national authority, he will carry out the destruction of the explosive device in accordance with the provision of the disposal of explosive devices, or what is in that in the Number eight, the book number eight that we have of humanitarian demining, you can find what is the correct use for the make the disposal of explosive devices. So, what are some responsibilities of the members of the team? The operations officer is the person that must report unfavorable safety conditions or accidents on incidents that are related to anti-personal mines or that are present during the development of the task in the field to the Colombia discontamination. So all our responsibility is he have to submit in writing the complaints or the non-conformities with the result of the monitoring or the performance of the monitoring personnel. There is a process in, when you are in a file, can arrive a monitor and he can check all the process that you are making. So maybe um, you have something to solve for according to the check that he made to you, and it's not resolved. This officer in the first instance, uh, with a period not exceeding the 3 business days from the visit of the component monitoring, he write all the complaints. The technical section head is in charge of send all the documents that are generated during the development of the task to the Colombian Discontamination Directorate and submit to the leader responsible for the task the documents generated by Colombian Discontamination Directorate and the Humanitarian Brigade during the task. Um, Other tasks that they have is implement the information management system of the Colombia Discontamination Director, wanting the flow of that information. Now, what is the responsible of the leader that is development the manual demining technique? That person has a lot of tasks. So he have to plan the logistical needs that it's going to be required to fulfill the task. He has to prepare and update all the documentation of the task, verify all the states and condition of the technical equipment, um, what are the personal elements for protection that are necessary for the development of the task. During the execution of the task, he must have facilitate and present all the documentation that is required by the external monitoring body and staff of the internal quality management system. Our function is carry out all the corrective of preventive actions for non-conformities carried out by the external monitoring body and the personnel from the internal quality management systems. He have make all the possible for he can have maybe in a future non-conformities. Also, he have seen all the reports that are generated during the development of the task. In the same way, these reports it's applied by the internal and external quality management system. Also, it's necessary that he send the documentation corresponding to the task in digital and physical medium to the technical section. Um, or 3 tasks that are objective that the leader have to achieve. It's must report unfavorable safety conditions to prevent that maybe can occur some accident or an incident that are related with anti-personal mines or an explosive device that are present during the development of in the file of task operations officer. If something accident or some incident is present, he immediately, um, after take account or after call the medical support, he have to talk with the operations officer and report what was the accident or was the problem. The plans, the medical evacuations, it's necessary that was planned for him, for the leader, always following the parameters that are established in the book of number 5 of the process, operational approved process for the medical support. And final, maybe if the leader have any complaint or disagreement with the result of the monitoring that the external compound made to him, um, he has or he must notify the monitor or the chief of the monitors in writing or in a document, seeking to resolve the situation directly with the external monitoring component. And if it's in the first instant is not enough or sufficient, um, a written report must be sent to the operations manager in one business day following the visit of the monitoring compound. That are the task of the leader. We'll continue with the deminer. The deminer have to take account that he has six objectives or six tasks. The first is before starting work, he have to check the technical equipment and the personal protection material that you are going to use. Um, he had that material has to be in an optimal conditions. The second task that he has is performs the first step, means to assign um, the technical and personal protection equipment. He has also to inform the leader about the different failures that may occur maybe in the technical equipment and the protective material, and execute the setup of the metal detector according to always to the manufacturer manual of according of what kind of detector are you using. He also have to notify the leader about the location of anti-personnel mine or an explosive device or the elements that may indicate the possible presence of these artifacts. So in order of the leader responsible for the task, he has to mark and mark the boxes and the work panels. These are the generalities of this subject. Now we can see three picture. The first is a picture of what is the compound that we can find here in the administrative area. And the second picture is all the signals that you can find for prevent the civil population that they can be close to that sector because can be dangerous for them. Well, this is the first lesson. So the next lessons it's going to be according some requirements that are general requirements for the technical study or the clearance. So thank you so much.